Tammi as our guest on the podcast. Tammi, go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us who you are.
My name is Tammi Newsome, and I am Jacqueline's boyfriend's mom.
That's exactly what Carly did.
Well, because she's like part of the family, and then I'm like, wait, yeah, that's how.
Yeah. What do you do for work?
I am a nurse.
And what do you do outside of work?
Oh, I do yoga, and I read, and I cook, and I like to keep track of you guys. It's one of my favorite activities.
Oh, you mean like actual keeping track on?
Well, no.
Location tracking.
It's okay, my mom does it too.
Jonathan's mom loves to. She'll check in with us and be like, oh, I see you guys are getting breakfast. How is it?
Yeah, well, Isaac and his Android. I probably could track you, but I could not track Isaac. And I can track the girls, and I do once in a while just to see, like, are they home in bed or where are they?
Yeah, no, that's fair. My mom definitely does it, especially if, like, we're not responding or she doesn't know where we are. And she can see, like, oh, they're at work or they're wherever. But
Yeah.
do you want to tell us a little bit more about your job as a nurse and kind of how you got to where you are?
Yeah. So right now I'm a perinatal quality coordinator, which is, I'm kind of like a fake CNS, which a CNS I would have had to have a degree for, clinical nurse specialist. So it's a master's degree, and that's the kind of work that I'm doing, but I don't have a master's degree, so I kind of feel like I'm a fake CNS. I just have been a labor and delivery nurse for like 28 years, so I have a lot of experience. And I kind of fell into this job because about 6 or 7 years ago, I was a bedside nurse and I loved it, and I never wanted to do anything else. So I never wanted to be a charge nurse or anything like that. But then our clinical educator, which is actually a different job than I have right now, our clinical educator, her husband was killed in a car accident. And so she obviously had to take time off, and they needed someone to just fill in for her. And so I thought, well, I could do that. So that's what I did for almost a year. And then when she was ready to come back, our director asked if I would stay on and work on more like quality projects and best practice and working with the physicians, and not really an education role, but there's a lot of overlap. So at the time I was nervous because I really like patient care, but I thought, okay, I'll try it, because I'd kind of, I've just been doing it for so long, and the kids were getting older. Ellie was in high school and not really needing me as much. So I felt like I could do the 5 days a week. So now here I am. But sometimes I do wish I could just go back to the bedside and take care of patients.
Yeah.
But luckily in the role that I'm in, I do sometimes, like if it's really busy, I can still step in and help. Or if things get crazy, that's what I really like, is if there's just different situations or emergencies, I go to all those and help make sure we're doing all the things we're supposed to be doing.
You get to jump in for that.
I love that.
When you say bedside care, is that similar to what Carly's doing now? Like
Yes.
where you were just there for the delivery and you're helping mom and baby and all that.
Yes.
That does sound really cool.
Yeah, it's great.
So how many years were you a bedside nurse?
Let's see. Well, I graduated from nursing school in 93, and then I worked on DCU for 2 years, which it's like a step down unit out of ICU, and then I was in labor and delivery since then. So over 20.
Yeah.
So it is funny because now as the kids have gotten older, there's lots of kids or young adults that are like in their 20s, and I was their nurse.
Oh. And they work at the hospital?
Yeah. Yes. They work at the hospital,
They were
or
born in?
I've actually, yes, I've seen some now that are having babies, which is weird.
Yeah. That would be weird.
Yeah. A baby that I helped deliver, but it's not, it's not, because they're like 27 now.
Yeah. I was about to say, I was born in 96, so if you started nursing around then,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Could be.
I know you had told this story before, and I thought it was really interesting how you got interested in labor and delivery and like why you chose that major in school. Do you want to talk about that?
Sure. So I grew up on a dairy.
Yeah.
And I loved it, and I loved being with the animals, but my favorite thing was when there was a cow that was giving birth and needed help. And my dad would sometimes have to pull the calf. And so I would always go out there I didn't really help him, but I was just always there because it intrigued me. And so sometimes they would have to just pull with his arms, like if the legs are coming out or if they were twisted anyway, he could get them in a better position and pull them. But sometimes they had to put a winch around the feet. And it was this chain, and they would put it around. They'd hook the winch to the fence and pull the baby out.
Brutal.
It is brutal. And then it would just go plop on the ground, and then the mom would lick it. And generally, everything worked out fine. But yeah, it was pretty brutal. And my dad would say, "That's what's going to happen to you if you get pregnant." That was birth control talk.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. You're like, okay, I'm terrified. I'm never
Yeah.
looking at a man. Oh, that's funny. I guess kind of going into what you had mentioned with the kids and being, around for when they were young, could you walk us through kind of the timeline of whenever you were in your career, when you first started having kids, and how you kind of adjusted things as you were raising young kids?
Yeah, I was so lucky because I was able to cut back on my work with each baby. So when Isaac was born, I worked PMs, and it was 4 p.m. So it was from 3 in the afternoon till 11:30 at night. And so we barely had any childcare. Andy would get home at 5, so we had a babysitter from like 2:30 to 5:30. And that was great. So we did that for a while, and then when Carly came along, we did that same thing. But then I think I eventually got to cut back to 3/8, which was so great because I got to be home with the kids. And then when Ellie was born, we'd gone to 12-hour shifts, and that was harder just to have that coverage. And so then I went per diem, which for per diem, you have to work. At our hospital, you had to work 4 days a month, but you could work more. And I did. I worked still 2 days a month, but it got to be a little bit more challenging. And so then when Ellie was about 6 months old, I quit altogether because I was able to do it. We didn't have as much money, so we had to figure that out. But I stayed home for 3 years with the kids and just got to be a mom. And then it was my hairdresser that I was complaining about, like, oh, man, I wish we could go on vacation, and that would be so nice. And she's like, "You're a nurse. Go back to work." And I was like, oh, I guess I could, because Ellie now is old enough to be in preschool, and Carly and Isaac were in elementary school. And I was like, gosh, I guess I could do that. I liked it. And so then I went back to work, and I thought, well, I just want like a mom easy job. So I got a job at Same Day Surgery Center, and it was easy, and it was just pre-opping people and post-op care, but it was really boring. And so then I was like, well, if I'm gonna work, I think I want to do what I love. And so then I had to go back to 8-hour nights. That was hard, but I thought, well, if I just do it, suck it up, and I'll get back to day shift eventually. And I did. So it was 8-hour nights at first, and then no, that's not right. It was 12-hour nights when I went back. When I very first started as a new grad, it was 8-hour nights. But when I went back after Ellie was born, it was 12-hour nights. And it was okay. It was hard, but I did it, and then got to day shift. And then eventually I had to start full time, but then I got to 2 12s, which was so good. Wow. So I worked 2 12-hour day shifts for most of the kids' growing years at home. So I got to do lots of things. And I do remember the first time I went back to work that I had a lunch break, I was like, oh my God, this is so good. I just get a lunch break. Like I get to be all by myself. Like it was in some ways.
No kids, no work.
Kids. It was kind of like easier, having 3 kids and running around and being on all the time. And then when I went to work, it was just taking care of my patients and then having a break. And it was good. It was a really good blend of both, like being a stay-at-home mom, but also being able to have my career and what I really love to do.
Mm-hmm. I feel like there's not very many careers where you can take a break for a few years and hop back in. So I feel like that's so nice.
Yeah.
You got to spend the core growing years with all your kids.
Yeah, it was great. I'm so lucky.
That's so interesting. Did the whole industry change as far as like the 12-hour standard around that
It
time?
did. Yeah, when I first started, a lot of places were 8-hour shifts, and 8-hour shifts are great if you're on day shift and even PM shift, but 8-hour nights is really hard because if you're full time, 5 days a week, you go to work at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And it's brutal.
Yeah.
12 hours, it's way better to go to work at 7. It just feels wrong to go to work at 11 o'clock at night. I can remember driving to work at 11 o'clock at night or, 10:30 or whatever. And it's like, this is raw. Everybody's in bed or going to bed and I got to go to work.
Yeah, at least the 12 hours like fully flipped. So you can go while it's still daylight out usually or something like that. But that sounds so, I don't know. We were talking earlier about just the time management of being a working mom and having kids and how we were like, oh, how are we going to do this? I already feel so busy.
Yeah.
But it definitely, I don't know. Definitely are sacrifices I'm sure that you had to make it happen. And I'm guessing one of those was sleep.
Yeah, for sure. Especially on night shift because a lot of moms work night shift because the kids barely know they're gone. Like they can have dinner with them, go to work, come home, take them to school, and then they'll go to bed and then wake up at 2:30, pick them up from school and do it again. So a lot of there's yeah. But it is exhausting for the mom.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like that would be a short fuse after a while where you're just like, I'm just so tired.
Yes.
But that's tough. How did you navigate childcare with that? Did you just have one sitter that would come over?
We did. We had one babysitter that we found. We'd had a couple through the years, but there was one that really ended up staying with it. She was going to Chico State, and so we kind of worked the schedule out where she would come and stay with the kids. Jen was her name, and now she has kids. And,
I think you showed some notes one time of
yes,
you left for her.
Yes, yeah, I did that. Yeah,
very detailed and they were very sweet. They weren't like totalitarian. They were just like, Ellie might do this. Please don't let her climb the tree.
I know, Ellie.
Did she fall out of the tree?
Yes, I kind of I was pretty laid back, and I thought, oh, she's not going to climb any farther than she can handle. She'll be fine. And then, she went too far and fell hard. A couple times she fell out of the tree. Yeah, one I think was Isaac's fault though because they had a tree house and then he told her, swing out of the tree house from that branch, and she did, and it just snapped and hit the ground.
I could see him taking her on.
Yeah,
that definitely makes sense. He's like, you can make it.
Yeah, you got that.
So throughout being in labor and delivery, how has it changed from when you started to how it is now? Or what are some key changes over time?
Well, I feel like we're getting better at a lot of things. And that's part of what my job is making sure that we're following current evidence-based practice and protocols for postpartum hemorrhage and hypertension. And I stay current with all of that, and if there's changes, then I bring it to the doctors and say, hey, this is the latest recommendations on treating hemorrhage and we should be doing this and this, and then they're like, okay, and then I work with IT to build the order sets and then educate the nurses on what the changes are. So it's a lot more protocol driven, which is safer, just that you identify the problem and you treat it, because birth is something that happens obviously all over the world and all over the country. So there are institutions that study it, what is the best treatment for hemorrhage, what should we be doing for hypertension, how should we be inducing people. So there's a lot more standardization, which I think is helpful, but there's actually still a lot that isn't standard that seems like, why don't we know what the best way to do this is? One of them is induction or different ways to induce people, or cervical ripening. It does seem like eventually there will be oh, this is the best way, but maybe not either, because bodies are different and everybody responds differently. So it might not be, but that's one way. Another thing that's changed is patients have a lot more questions about things. I feel like when I started, they would just trust the doctor or the midwife, whatever you think. And now it can be really challenging because there's so much information on the internet about what they should be doing, and there's a lot of fear. And sometimes I'm like, I don't really understand why people are so afraid of whatever it is. So afraid to get their water broke, or so I try to ask people like, what's out there? Like, what are they seeing about this? So just with so much information, I just would hope that people would get good, like evidence-based information to make their decisions.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. I feel like the internet is a blessing and a curse, and that even if you're seeing things that might be evidence-based, it could be a lot of just the negative and like fear-mongering.
Yeah.
So you think that something that is maybe not a risk to you is a risk to you, even though it might be totally normal. But I don't know. I'm someone where, like, I do want to have kids, but the idea of birth terrifies me still, just because of what it is and how it happens. And so I feel like I've seen stuff come out across my feed. I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't know
Right.
that happened.
Right.
But you gotta trust your team, trust your doctors. And
That's
your
what
body.
that's what I would hope, and to talk about it, like, okay, well, I saw this, well, this is, and give the like good information. Like ACOG is something that we use, and A1, and CMQCC is the California Maternal Quality Care Collaborative, and that's where I get a lot of our protocols from, and they're out of Stanford, and they've researched all kinds of things. So I really trust them as a resource for pretty much anything that they study.
Yeah.
And it's very cool because maternal mortality has increased in the United States over the years without a better outcome for babies. And there's lots of reasons for it. But when you look at the graphs as to how it's increased over the years, California has actually gone down. And it is right in alignment with when CMQCC started releasing all these toolkits.
Oh.
So it's really cool that there's this graph that I just love, that you can see when CMQCC like released their postpartum hemorrhage, it came down, and their preeclampsia, and it's like up and then down for California. So I love that.
That is nice.
Oh yeah, it's cool to like see it in a visual way too.
Yeah. So whenever they update their toolkits, that's part of my job. Like a couple years ago, it was hemorrhage. There was new things for hemorrhage that they found were more effective. So then we brought that in.
Yeah, that is really cool to see.
And I think other states have it too. And the other states can also be a part of CMQCC. But I'm not familiar with all the other states.
Yeah, I haven't looked at anything about Idaho's rates or anything like that. But it sounds like, I don't know, just with everyone that Carly's talked about in the hospital, it sounds like St. Luke's is a really good place to be. So.
Yeah, it does sound like it. Yeah, it sounds really good.
Yeah.
It's fun to hear like the things that they do and compared to the things that we do. And yeah, they seem like a great hospital.
I guess, do you have any advice for young career women who want to be moms too, and like want to balance that and how to approach that, or anything, words of wisdom?
Gosh, I'll have to think about that. I think it's important to have a good team. Like, hopefully your partner can help, because sometimes it's nice to have the dad do things. And I guess we definitely were more traditional, where, I was the mom and I stayed home. And I love that. And I would have been really sad if it was the opposite. But that's just me, because I do work with a lot of women whose husbands are the stay-at-home dads. And it works for them. But I know I personally would have been like, I want to be the one to get to stay home. Plus, I know I would be better.
Yeah.
I would be way better at it, just as far as like the cooking and the cleaning and taking care of the kids. But they also get different things from the mom and the dad. So I think having some balance there is really nice. Like, Andy's way more gruff than I am. And so they get a little more, toughness from him than they did from me. He's also more uptight. And so like just being home with the kids, I would let them do a lot of things like paint each other's bodies or roll around in the mud. Like, I don't, they're just kids, whatever. It's not going to hurt anything. Just wash them down. But he was more uptight with that kind of thing. But I think it's really nice to have both to help balance it out. So I think that's good if you could have somebody that is helpful. And then like your family, our family didn't watch our kids. They just didn't really go that way for us, that our parents were there to help. So that's why we more had to have like babysitters and that kind of thing. But I see a lot of people where their families really involved.
Yeah, that is really nice whenever you have a community around you.
Yeah.
How was it like? I always think about like going out and about with kids.
Yeah.
How was that experience with you? Like whether it's vacation or just like the grocery store.
Yeah. Well, at first, like you bring everything. Like the first kid, you got like your big old diaper bag and you have everything in there.
Yeah.
And then each kid is less, where by the end you just have a big purse and throw a diaper and wipes in. Like, let me find.
All Ellie needs is a new diaper.
That's it. That's all. Just a diaper and wipes, and we'll figure out the rest. So each time it gets less. But I did find, like, we tried to do a couple big vacations, like go to Disneyland or whatever. And now when I hear like young moms talking about these big trips with their 2-year-old, I'm like, God, save your money, because they're not going to remember it. It's going to be so much work. It's going to be like your same not problems, but like your nap time and temperature. It's going to be the same wherever you are, and the kids are not going to remember it. So I don't know. I don't think I would spend a lot of money on vacations like that until they can remember it and appreciate it and participate in it. Otherwise, you have this idea like, oh, it's going to be so fun and magical, and they have no idea. And you do all the work and spend all the money. I would rather just like, I don't know, stay home or go camping and try and enjoy it that way.
Yeah. Or have a babysitter and go.
Yeah.
Make it a real vacation.
Yeah, I know. That would be a real vacation. Until they're older.
Yeah.
And then it's so fun. Like, I love going on trips with the kids, when they were older. And then we did so many sports that became the big thing that we did, is tournaments for everything. And that becomes that's what we did. We just stayed in hotels and sat at the fields and gyms and watched the kids, and then got to be friends with all those parents. So that was fun.
I thought it was cool that you guys had a ski team. Like, you would go to Tahoe every weekend for Carly's ski. Was it? I forget exactly. It was racing, right?
Yeah. That was really fun. That was a big one. And that one at first, like I wanted us to be able to go to every weekend, and then as you get into it, you're like, there's no way, this is so much, because we're 2.5 hours from the mountain. And so every weekend was that for a while, and then we got smarter and paired up with other families, and we'd take the kids, and then the next weekend we would send her with someone.
Tag team a little bit.
Yeah,
that sounds
you got to find your people.
That's so fun though. I'm jealous of like the West and like skiing as a sport when you're younger, because it was like not a thing in the Midwest.
No, skiing and biking, not options at all.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, you only biked if you didn't have a car and it was not a bike friendly town to be in. Like, I remember they wanted to put in a bike lane, and it was like a scandal throughout town. They're like, why are we paying for this bike lane when we could all just have a car? It was so
why would anyone do that?
Yeah. Like, what are we thinking? But yeah, I feel like we have similar upbringings as far as like reasons to be out west rather than
It's just different. Like, I biked a lot as a kid, but it was like around the block. I just go around the block all day long. Like, it was not on no trails.
Yeah.
There's some bike path, but I feel like I rarely biked on it. It was always just around the block. How many times can you go? My Strava map would be crazy as a kid.
Just a loop.
It literally, it'd be like those. Have you seen the ultra marathons that they do it in like a small circle, and so it's just like a scribble?
Oh.
That's what my childhood Strava map would look like.
That's so funny.
We saw the triathlon downtown, or it's in on the Greenbelt. That was fun this morning.
Oh, today?
Yeah.
I think it's out at Whitewater. I saw that Whitewater was closed for it.
Yeah, it was all in there. So we did a big loop, and we saw the swimmers, and we didn't see any bikers, so I don't know where they're biking, but it's cool.
That's so cool.
Carly said you guys were talking about doing a team.
We said Carly would swim, I would run, and we'd both bike.
Well, we were looking up the like what they are, because
I saw people at the same time. I don't understand.
I don't know. We weren't sure about the swim, and they were like swimming circles in the pond, in Quinn's Pond. And so I saw somebody who had been participating, or his daughter had. And I said, hey, how many times do they have to go around the pond? and he said that his daughter did a sprint and she had to go once. And
Oh,
so
interesting.
he said they're doing sprint, super sprint, and then Olympic.
Oh.
I don't know the definitions of all those. I looked up the sprint and the regular.
Maybe I could swim one lap. I don't know. Carly would be way faster than me.
But she's like, I might want to do this next year.
Yeah.
I bet she could.
Yeah, she's not a runner though. Maria's the runner.
Yeah,
You're a runner.
we'd split it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool though.
Yeah, it was cool.
When Carly decided to be a nurse, how did you feel about it? Were you excited or?
Yeah, I could see it for her.
Yeah.
I felt like she kind of always seemed interested in it, so it didn't really surprise me. So but I also was like, don't do it because I'm doing it. You got to do what you want to do and what you're going to love. And it seemed to suit her. It is kind of it's not an easy major, like easy major, but it's easy in that you go to school to be a nurse and you become a nurse. Mm-hmm. Whereas a lot of other majors, like you go to school for whatever it is, whatever your major is, and then you're like, okay, now what do I do? Mm-hmm. So I think sometimes it's an easy thing to choose because you know exactly what you're going to do. Yeah. Not exactly what you're going to do, but yeah, it's super straightforward. You're going to be a nurse, where a lot of other majors are hard. Like, okay, and you got to figure it out.
Mm-hmm. There's also a lot of stability, I feel like. Mm-hmm. Like, there's always going to be nursing positions somewhere.
And babies will always be born.
Yeah.
So that's special.
Yeah, and if not babies, then whatever else you want to do.
Yeah.
So it was good, and I could see that for her. So I was happy when she was looking at colleges. We were really looking at like where can she get into nursing school and get out quickly.
Yeah.
Because I've seen so many people in California. I don't know that it's like this in the rest of the nation, but it's so hard to get into nursing school, like ridiculously hard, just because they're expensive and they don't take that many students. So it's just super competitive. And honestly, some of the nurses that we were getting for a while, like, yeah, they're super, super book smart, but not that smart, like just day-to-day life type things, common sense. So when we were looking at schools, that's what we really focused on, is like, okay, where do they have a good nursing program? And they take a lot of students and get in and out. And so that worked for her.
Because Boise, hers was kind of accelerated, wasn't it? I feel like she graduated.
It just, the way they had it set up was it's 4 years, like from when you start to when you finish. And that she got in the first time and it worked for her. And we had to pay out-of-state tuition for 2.5 years. But even when I did the math, I was like, okay, even if we're going to pay out-of-state tuition for those years, you'll be done. Yeah. You'll be on your way, making your own money. So it was worth it.
Yeah.
And then Ellie was thinking she wanted to be a nurse, and I just wasn't seeing it as much for her. And I felt like it kind of was like, well, that's what Carly and Mom are doing. And so I'm so happy that she figured out she wants to do OT, because that I can totally, it like suits her so well, and she loves her job right now. Yeah. And I'm so excited for her. And it seems like such a cool career.
Yeah, I think she'll be great at that. And we were talking about also having her on too, talking about like her para work, because I feel like it takes, I don't know, she has so much patience with the kids, and like not just the patience, but she understands what they need and what they're trying to say, even if they can't.
It's amazing to me.
Yeah, she's
like she is such a natural at that, and she loves those kids so much.
Yeah, she does.
Even though they'll like beat the crap out of her.
I know.
I'm just like, oh my gosh, like it's so hard, and she just loves them. It's too bad. She said if she got paid more, she would be totally happy doing that forever, just taking care of those kids. But the pay is so bad. Like,
so terrible.
You can't live like that. No one can live on that. And it's crazy to me. It's like, that's such an important job to be there for those kids and help take care of them. And
they get paid less than like babysitters.
Yes, they do. And then taxes and all that.
I'm like just 30 kids.
Yeah, it is insane to me. I don't understand that. Like, I don't. So that's too bad, but I'm really happy for her that she's like on her way and found her thing. Yeah. Good.
It was so funny listening to her like talk about the kids in her classrooms, because it's like I can like picture someone like having to do this for work and like hating it and just like complaining and be like, the worst thing happened to me today.
Yeah.
Like, But that's not how Ellie talks about it at all. She's like, the funniest thing happened today. Like, we had to throw all the chairs outside the classroom. Yeah. I'm like, that's crazy.
I know.
I feel like she likes the crazy, like, the chaos of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I know she was talking about, she got bit one day. And, like, twice in 1 week she got bit bad. But then she said that, they just can't express how they feel. So that's just what they do. And then he crawled up my shirt and I was like, oh, Elle. But she loves it. So good. I know.
Yeah. I'm glad she's getting to do summer school with them for a little bit too.
Yeah.
That'll be good.
Yeah. I know she was really sad on the last day of school. She called me and she was crying. And then I get so emotional. I started crying too because she was crying. So I was like, gosh, she loves those kids so much. And she's like, I don't know when I'm going to get to see him again. And it was just so tender.
Yeah.
So sweet.
It's gotta be so hard too, especially like with the district that she works in. Like she doesn't know, where they're gonna end up after they're in elementary school. And she knows that like some of them have a hard home life. And so that's just tough.
Yeah.
But you were a para for a little while, weren't you?
Yeah. I was at a high school though, and it was like the kids I was working with. It was a lot of them not showing up to class, or like they maybe had complicated home lives, made their lives more complicated themselves too, and so some of them I would just like had like reading problems or different things, and so it was also during COVID, which is interesting. So it was online for a lot of it, so I would just be like emailing them and be like, I'm here for help. So I did very little for a long time. Yeah. And once they were like back in school, then I would like go to their classes with them and like take my own notes so that I could like help them like with tests or whatever, but mostly just like collecting their homework, trying to get them to like maybe walking the hallways, seeing if they're like just like hanging out with their friends in the hallways instead of being in class. It was kind of silly.
Yeah, that was a weird time though.
So weird. Especially like in schools. I'm like, these kids are not learning anything right now.
Right. Yeah, I think we've proven that.
Yeah, kids are kind of behind, especially in the like younger grades.
Yeah, not much happened then.
I guess, what is your favorite part of your job now? I guess you've kind of talked about like new protocols and stuff, but
I love it when I get to go help during emergencies. And then particularly like when there's been a protocol or something that I've worked on and we do it. It's so good.
Oh yeah. To see it in action.
Yeah, that'd be so satisfying. We have a protocol for a patient that has an eclamptic seizure, and we had that emergency, and so I went down to help because I love emergencies, and and so I had our protocol, and I was like, okay, did we do this, yep, and I was like, yes, so good.
That has to be so satisfying to like see it in action. You're like actually seeing the benefit from it, and you're like, the work that I'm doing is making a difference in this exact patient's life, and they're gonna be okay.
I love that.
That is really cool.
And I just love going to the deliveries.
Yeah,
I love it. It's so fun.
Do you think you would ever go back to just being bedside?
I would, yes. Right now, and I've definitely thought about it more as I'm getting like closer to retirement. I think it'd be so nice to do two 12-hour day shifts again and have more time off to come harass you guys up here. But because we're a union hospital, I have no seniority to compete for jobs. So any staff nurse position would go to a union person. So I could, but I would I'd have to go back to full-time nights, and I would have no seniority. I would be like
gotcha.
Starting over.
Yeah.
So that doesn't sound very fun.
Yeah.
I don't want to do full-time nights.
I couldn't imagine being on nights even at my current
time. I don't really want to do that. The only other thing I've thought of is if we do move here someday, like maybe I could go work at St. Luke's per diem or something. That might be
Carly
kind of
could
fun.
high five in the hallways.
That'd be fun.
A mother-daughter delivery.
Yeah, we actually have had a few pairs, like mother-daughter pairs at our on our unit that work together. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that'd be kind of fun.
I think they'd be lucky to have you. That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It would be super fun to work somewhere else because I've really only worked in Chico. So I think that would be really great to just work somewhere else and see how they do it.
See what it's about.
Yeah.
That'd be exciting.
We didn't talk about Isaac.
Oh, should we talk about it?
Yeah.
What can we talk about Isaac about? Just that's so happy that he found his job.
Oh, yeah.
Up here, and how it was so great how it was hard for him at home. He graduated during COVID, and it was such a bummer because for him, he went to Bend for junior college and then came back, finished junior college, then went to Chico State, and then he was on the cycling team, the mountain biking team, and having, I think, a pretty good college experience. And then COVID, and so then he ended up finishing college in his room, and it was just terrible. It was so depressing, and he became really withdrawn and was just in his room all the time, because that's what was happening at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, when he was living at home because of the fire, because he was living in Paradise burned, so he had to come home, live at home in his room, and finish college. But then when he moved up here, it was great. And I was so happy that he got the job at Bogus, first of all.
Yeah, I think he loved that.
Yeah, that was really good. I mean, it wasn't a good paying job, but he had enough money, I guess, just from working. And then he didn't use all his college money, so we gave him the rest of his college money. And he didn't find a job right away. So that job at Bogus was really good.
Yeah.
And then now here he is with a good job and a nice girlfriend and nice friends. And he's the happiest, he's the happiest he's ever been because he has, you guys, he's got this nice network of people.
Yeah,
I can't picture him hermiting in his room.
Oh, really?
He loves going into the office, and he's just so chatty.
Yeah. Oh,
But
yeah.
it seems weird.
Yeah,
So.
it was definitely a thing where he just got sucked into that and just in there all the time. So I was worried, when he left, oh my gosh, I hope this is good, but he's got to get out of here.
Go somewhere else.
Get out. Go do something.
It was such a strange time period. I feel I don't know. Missouri wasn't nearly as locked down, but we didn't know anything about it at the time, and so the people that I was around were all being really, really careful about it because we didn't know, and I felt I didn't see anyone that year. I felt I was just always at home too, and it does something to your psyche. Forget how to talk to people. I feel I lost so much social skill in 2020 just from that time, and I wasn't I moved out here in 2021, and I was oh, I need to figure out how to interact with the public again and all that stuff. So
I think that's been hard for a lot of people to pull out of that.
Yeah.
Because I think it is easy for some people to stay in that withdrawn state of not really engaging, because there was some engagement online or whatever. And I think some people have stuck to that. Yeah. But I'm so glad that Isaac came up here and found his people.
Yeah.
So good.
I feel the Bogus job was good too, because now he knows every trail, which is so nice. Because I'll be I was thinking about doing this trail, and he'll be yeah, that'll take you about an hour. It's very nice.
Yeah. Well, I know, and that he took that job even though it was not his major or anything. Because I feel I know a fair amount of young adults, and sometimes I don't know, they have this idea of they're going to get this great job and make all this money, and then I'm well, just take any job right now until that other job comes around. So I'm glad he did that, because it can lead to things even though, a lift operator at Bogus, how's that going to really help me toward my career goals? But I feel in some ways it did, just meeting people, and it's just such a good experience.
Yeah, and I just do it for fun.
Yeah, totally.
And he ended up liking it so much that he stayed whenever he started his new job. And,
I know.
I think, he does know now that there are data analyst positions for different like operations like Bogus, which there's not an availability now, but he knows like, that would be. And I talked to him, I was like, even if you had to take a pay cut, like, I think that would be your dream job, being able to work at Bogus again and, like, be around the mountain, be outdoors, and, like, you're still doing something related to your major.
Right.
But you can still, like, hang out up with your people. And
yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
I have this friend who teaches at Chico State, and we were talking about this with kids, young adults, on, like, their jobs, and she said what she tells her students is, think about like your ideal schedule and like how much money, you know, you want to make, and just kind of go from there. Like, don't get this idea in your head that it's going to be your dream job, especially at first. Like, find something that is going to pay your bills and give you a schedule so you can do all the things that you love in life. Because it's kind of, she was just saying she feels like it's kind of a fallacy that we've put out there that, oh, you know, just chase your passion and get your dream job, because sometimes it just doesn't happen, but you can still have a beautiful life.
Yeah. Like, passion might not be work.
Yeah, maybe it's not work. Maybe you just work so you can have your passion. Yeah. And I talked to this yoga teacher, and she said the same thing, because she was so cool, like the coolest gal, and she was all chill and, you know, yoga. And then I was asking her, I knew that she wasn't just a yoga teacher, and so I said, what do you do? And what do you do, like, for a job, other job? And she was, oh, I work for build.com, which is just like a computer job. And I was like, really? Like, I was not seeing that for her at all. And she's like, oh my God, it's so great. Like, yeah, it's not my dream or anything, but allows me to buy a house and to do all the things I love. And I was like, yeah, that's what Suzanne said.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I thought that makes sense.
I think it does. I feel like that's been our approach that we've talked about to the tech world, is like, it's cool. There are a lot of things to learn. I don't think it'll ever be my passion, but it's not my passion.
Yeah, like you know, theater, right? Like,
and I did, you know, I was one of the people that, like, I tried it out, and, like, granted, I was never going to be, like, on Broadway or anything, but, like, I tried out the actual industry, and I was like, I am not. There are some people that are cut out for it and willing to work as hard as you have to make it happen, and, like, miss, you know, weddings and funerals and stuff. And I was like, I am not gonna do that. I want to have, like, relationships and all that stuff. And, like, for some people it works out great, but for me, I'm glad I tried it, and I was like, okay, now I can move to something that's a little more sustainable for, you know, having all the other things in life than the job.
And now you have a band.
Yeah. Oh, and the band is playing tonight at the Ranch Club. Well, not tonight.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You're gonna in a couple months.
This is gonna be 2 months later.
Right, but maybe there'll be a residency by then.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. Maybe we'll be sponsored by the Ranch Club on our podcast.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. I was like, man, it seems like the Ranch Club would want you to play like once a month or whatever.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be super cool.
Yeah. Do they do live music generally?
They started, we're gonna try and get some sort of recurring thing going with them.
Jonathan last night was like, they feel like they should have live music every night. It feels like the bar that's meant to have, like, live music.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, if not every night, maybe just like
often.
Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah.
Might be you on the marquee.
Who knows? But definitely couldn't have paid for all that equipment without a tech job.
Yeah.
Right.
I was like,
right.
I was loading all the equipment yesterday. I was like, wow, I have sunk some money into this, but I'm really glad I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotta pay for it with something.
Yeah. I will say, not my passion. I'm not. We have friends that it is more their passion, but it is, like, it's still my favorite job that I've worked. Like, I definitely don't hate my job, which is a lot. Like, so people don't even have that. So.
Right. I feel like
and it does give me freedom to do a lot of things I do love to do.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Why is it your favorite job that you've had? Like, what do you like about it?
I definitely... I feel like when I went into it, I was like, I can't possibly ever get bored in technology because it's always changing. So I feel like there's, like, part of that, because I think I just, like, the challenge appeals to me. But, like, like, I'm just not, like, a math logic person. Like, and that's, like, people that get really into it or, like, just, like, love the, like, science to it and, like, just the logic to it. And, like, I don't care that much about the logic. I find it, like, interesting that there's, like, new ways to do things all the time. And, like, it's also, like, I don't work too hard most of the time either. Where it's, like, at the end of the day, I'm, like, not stressed about my job, which is huge, too. Where it's, like, I feel like most of the time, I guess, I feel like I can log off and go on with my day.
Yeah.
Occasionally, there's times where I'm, like, holding on to it a little bit, but most of the time, I'm not.
You can turn it off.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a very human thing, though, too, to not be able to let it go sometimes. Like, I'll catch myself still thinking about work. And I've gotten better about it over time. Like, I used to be really bad about it. But if I can leave it at the door, like, 90% of the time, I feel like that's success.
100%. Any closing thoughts?
I was thinking about my job and what else I like about it. And something else is I work with really fun people.
The people,
That's huge.
People make a job.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Like, in our little leadership team, there's just great people. And I work with older, well, I'm actually probably one of the oldest ones now. But throughout my career, I've worked with different generations of women. And I love that. Like, I love to be able to learn from the older generation and then the younger. And it's just so cool to be around so many great women. I love that. And now that I'm older, I like to listen to the younger people and stay current. All the things. Technology and just all kinds of things. So I do love that. It's fun.
Didn't you also started, like, when you were in college, you met a group of nurses, right? You still work with all of them. You're still friends with all of them, too.
Yeah, I don't work with them all. But we still are all working and we get together once a year.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, so it's really fun. Yeah.
That is cool.
That's cool, too. Like, I feel like nursing's very female dominated.
Yeah.
Our field is not like that, but it does sound nice to have, like, the community of women.
Yeah.
Jacqueline and I are like, we're lucky if we have another woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. We used to joke that, like, we would be dressing up in the office just for each other.
Yeah.
Well, Maria would appreciate this fashion choice today. So I'm just like,
Yeah. It was an Instagram reel I saw that was, like, showing up to my tech job dressed up to impress my one other female coworker. It's like, that was 100% us.
Yeah, I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
Mostly women. Mm-hmm.
Well, Tammi, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for joining us on Wait, Who Are You?
Thank you for having me.
Of course.